Welcome to The Daily Grind, a Bluff City Media daily podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Luke Hatmaker. Grab your favorite morning brew and let's get to the show.
I'm back. Oh, man, Chip, I tried so hard at singing for you before you got here. I picked a song that I thought I could sing and I wouldn't sing poorly, and I've already messed it up, my friend. I am so sorry. I try to sing for every show, and it varies on how good it is, but most of the time it's just bad. So I apologize. I'm your host, Luke Atmaker. It is draft day, the actual draft day, and so I've got the only person that I trust and feel comfortable talking about the draft to is my guy Chip Williams. How are you, brother?
I'm great, Luke. I really appreciate you having me on. This day for me is always like Christmas, just waking up, that stuff is going to happen related to your favorite NBA team. No matter that's a trade, they make a pick, something is happening, right?
Yes.
That's always exciting. So this is one of my favorite days of the year.
Man, I love to hear that. Like, I know, shout out everybody in the comments too. I see everybody joining us. I think we're all in agreement. Daniel Greer says you're Ryan Meadows' brother. I think you're a little bit, I think you're more handsome. Don't tell Ryan I said that.
Thank you. Thank you. Look, Ryan's the man. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I take that as a compliment, but I appreciate the extra compliment.
I got you, sir. Let's just jump right into it, brother, because I know you got to get out of here. You got Jess Benson later today. You mentioned it, like trades are going to happen tonight. It's going to be wild tonight. I just want, what do you think is going to happen tonight? Like, not just the Grizzlies, because we'll talk about the Grizzlies here in a second, like the pulse in the draft in general, because I had to go from not really being like a casual payer attentioner to this draft to having a week crash course. Like, oh crap, now I got to know. You've been extremely helpful with that, where I'm like, who do I need to know? And you gave me this list. It was great. But what do you expect just to happen tonight? Like, I mean, there's the obvious. Cooper Flagg's probably going first.
Right.
But like, what else? What else do you expect to happen up there in that top 10 area?
Yeah, it's fascinating, right? So, obviously, Cooper Flagg came into the year as the number one pick, and he did nothing but be awesome and solidify himself as the number one pick, right? So
Yes.
There's not much mystery there. It seems like Dylan Harper's pretty locked into number two. I think he's the second best player in this draft, so it makes a ton of sense. And then probably VJ Edgecombe from Baylor, number three. It's been Ace Bailey for a long time, but it seems like VJ's kind of solidified himself maybe as three. But that's kind of where the draft starts, three and then beyond. We'll see what happens, right?
Yes.
And I think there's just like a wide range of guys who can go in these picks. Like a guy I'm not particularly high on, Yegor Dimin, a guy from Russia, played last year at BYU. I kind of view him as like a late first, but like you look at Intel-based mocks, and some people have him going like 8, 9, 10. Stuff's going to get wild. We always think we've got it. We understand the mocks. They figured it all out. They've got the formula. And every year stuff happens in the top 10 that just we don't see coming, right?
Yes.
And so whether that's a trade up, trade back, a massive star getting swapped for a high pick, I don't know. But that's kind of like we were saying earlier, man. This is what makes this day really exciting.
Man, it's awesome.
So, yeah, it is. It really is.
And I'm glad you mentioned it, like the draft starting at 3, because I feel like out of nowhere, well, maybe not out of nowhere. I feel like there are very recent developments where it's like everybody seems to like Con Knipple out of nowhere. I liked him when I looked at him. I was like, this guy's really good. It looks like Trey Johnson has shot up a lot of boards, whereas Ace Bailey has tanked his stock. I mean, it's just been, tanked his stock. Canceling interviews, I guess, as close as you can get to taking your stock without flat out tanking your stock. I don't know, man. I'm kind of glad that the Grizzlies aren't picking up there, because I don't have to stress out about what we're going to do.
Right.
Out of those names I mentioned, out of like the Knipples, the Trey Johnson, the Ace Bailey, I'm with you. I think VJ Edgecombe goes third. I just think that makes sense. But after that, let me ask you, how far do you see Ace Bailey falling? That's what I'm really curious about.
Yeah, that's a great question. Ace is a guy that I understand why people are high on him. There's some people that have him as high as number 2, I think, in this class. And I do understand it. For me personally, I landed with him at 10.
Yeah.
And I think that, he struggled a lot at Rutgers, and I don't know that this is always the hard part, right? Is the team context that these guys are put into. And I don't know how much of the bad shots that he took to blame on Ace versus a program like Rutgers getting a prospect like Ace and saying, hey, just do whatever you want to do, man. I think we've seen it here in Memphis with Gigi Jackson. He went to South Carolina, and South Carolina said, just do whatever you want, man. Don't worry about us. That's right. And so Ace is a really talented shot maker, man. Like, you go just pop onto YouTube, throw his highlight reel up there, and you're like, oh my gosh, we're drafting the next Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
And then you watch a full game and you're like, oh, okay, there's a lot of stuff we've got to work on. So, like, the ceiling is pretty high, and I think that, like, a median outcome for him might be something like a Michael Porter Jr. And so I don't see him slipping out of the top 10. That would surprise me, just because some front office is going to get excited, as he continues to slip a little bit down the board. And they're going to take a roll of dice on a guy like that.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that the dude is just too good. Like, if he slips that far, like you said, you had him 10th. I don't know how you could look at what he does as a basketball player and have him ranked outside the top 10. Just even like the off the court issues, which I guess they exist. The interview thing, what is that about? Is that?
Yeah, I don't know. I actually was talking to a scout who a few weeks ago when Memphis had the big EYBL event in town, and I was talking to a scout, and he said that the Ace interviews had not gone very well.
Yeah.
And I don't look. I'm not here to bash an 18-year-old in any way, right? Like, this is nothing personal against Ace. That's just what I heard, right?
Yeah.
And it's very strange. I think that at some level, Ace is getting some advice that may not be the best for him. And I hate that for him, right? Because there's a lot of these guys who kind of, attach themselves to prospects and get in there and maybe don't always offer the best advice. So I do hate that for him. And I hope that it works out the best for him. I would love for, every guy that enters this draft to be a Hall of Famer. But that's the hard part, is not they all won't be. Most of them won't be. Trying to find the ones who are, that's what makes this hard. So, but yeah, the interview stuff is weird, man. I'm always rooting for Ace, and I hope it works out for him. But I've really, at least from a public relations standpoint, it's kind of been a tough pre-draft process for him.
Yeah. I mean, from a public relations standpoint, I love that you saying that. Like, I'm more excited to see where he goes than anyone else, just to see optics, like what that will be like. The Grizzlies are picking tonight, though. Like, we know. That's why I want you here. Who are the Grizzlies taking? Well, let me back it up a little bit, because I was looking at all of Zach Kleiman's transactions last night, and I was like, man, this mug likes to trade. Two-part question. Do you think the Grizzlies trade up or trade back from this pick, or do you think they stay put?
If I had to bet, my bet would be that they trade back, and not significantly, but I think a trade back in order to get off of John Konchar's salary. You slide back 4 or 5 slots or whatever, roughly get a player in the same tier that you were going to pick at 16. And that obviously, as I'm sure listeners of this show know, that gets you the money you need to renegotiate Jaren Jackson Jr.'s contract and make sure he doesn't hit unrestricted free agency in 2026. So if you force me to make a pick, that would be that's what I would guess is going to happen.
Well, and I mean, that is also very much in Kleiman's MO, right? Like, I say he trades a lot. When I say he trades a lot, we're talking like back 4 spots, up 2 spots, back 3 spots, up 2. Like, it's never trading up 7 or up. It's never big moves. It's always little tiny moves around the edges, and you end up getting like Jarrett Culver on your team. But I've seen a lot of people being like 16. I think the Brooklyn Nets have like the Brooklyn Nets have more and more draft picks as each day goes on now after the Porzingis trade. Like, you could easily slide back with them. And it does seem like Konchar's salary is the easiest one to jettison, get out of there, and just I like your way of thinking. Should the Grizzlies stay at 16 though?
Mm-hmm.
I guess them staying at 16 is kind of like a, in my mind, I could be wrong, is a unintentional signaling that you're doubling down on youth yet again. But maybe not doubling down, but like if you pick someone at that 16 spot, I'm hoping it's someone that you're not expecting to start on day one, like had to happen last year, where it's someone that a project that gets your 10th man off the bench. If that's what they do at this 16 spot, who would you like to see them pick? Because the names you sent me as guys most likely there was the one guy that I kept coming back to, and I don't know, I think a lot of guys are really excited about him, is Cedric Coward. I really like what I've seen out of him. And if they're staying at 16 and have to pick someone, that's who I would like to see them pick. But I don't know. You know a lot more than me in the tea leaves. Like, who do you see? Do you see? I mean, it looks like his stock's rising like crazy this week, so he might not even be there at 16.
Yeah. Coward is interesting, man. And like I've had conversations with people where like if I could just shoot the Grizzlies front office full of truth serum and ask them about one prospect, I think it'd be Cedric Coward. Because like 3 years ago he was playing at a Division III school.
Yeah.
Plays a couple seasons at Eastern Washington. Plays last season only 6 games at Washington State against mostly lower level competition. So there's just not a ton of high major data points on this guy of like, what does he look like playing against comparable competition, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time, he's 6'6", he's got a 7'2" wingspan. The jumper is beautiful. I mean, it's something you would teach on a fundamentals tape, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Off the dribble, I think he's got a little work. The defensive ceiling is incredibly high. It's raw. It needs some tightening up, but like just with that physicality, that size, and the way that he moves, he should have no problem defending 2 to 3 positions in the NBA.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the guy has a chance to be a stud. But like I said, the problem is we just don't have a ton of high major data points on this guy, right?
Yep.
So it's a bit of a mystery box. Like he's one, and it seems like he's still kind of recovering from his shoulder surgery that kept him out. So it's not someone we would see in summer league, I don't think. In fact, I think ESPN's Jonathan Givony reported that when he worked out for the Grizzlies, he did a 1-on-0 workout, basically just an individual, not quite ready for full-on contact yet. So he would remain a mystery box if the Grizzlies take him until we see him maybe in preseason. So, you know, he's fascinating though. Like everything, he checks a ton of boxes, but then there's always the mystery box of like, what does this look like on an NBA court with guys that are his same skill level? And so that's just what we don't know. That's the unknown.
Yeah. And so you're mentioning he played in 6 games last year, and it's like you see those 6 games and you're like, well, I'll be damned. Pretty good. But it's like you said, the data, it's just not enough. It's not enough of a sample size to be like, to really have a super educated guess on how this guy's going to be. So that being said, like, I would love nothing more than for you to be right than for a small trade back, get Giddey out of there. But what do you, 16 rolls around.
Yep.
Who do the Grizzlies take if it's there and they have to take someone? And you're looking at whose stock's gone up, whose stock's gone down, who's there.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think?
So I wrote a little something yesterday. I was able to stretch my fingers out. They still worked, and I wrote. Yeah, it's been a little while, but I decided to do it. And I kind of broke down like 10 guys that I like at pick 16. And the top 4 guys were all either a small trade up, or if they're at 16, just sprint to the podium and take them. It was Colin Murray-Boyles, Derek Queen, Carter Bryant, and Noah Asingwe from France. Let's just rule those guys out because I think it's unlikely that all of them are at 16. Yeah. And if one of them is, I would just go up to the podium and take them. So I'll give you one guy that he's been on the radar for several years now. If you've got any longtime Memphis Tiger fans, they'll recognize the last name. It's Adou Thiero. His dad, Almame Thiero, played at Memphis under John Calipari in the 2000s. And Adou he played first 2 years at Kentucky, followed John Calipari to Arkansas. He is probably the best athlete in this class. He's been clocked at well over a 40-inch vertical jump. And he is just a downhill monster. This guy is so physically imposing. Barefoot, he's over 6'6". He's got a 7-foot wingspan, about 220 pounds. Incredibly explosive and just incredibly difficult to stop once he gets downhill. He had about a 70% free throw rate, which is just absurd for a guy who's not like Zach Edey size. You know, he is just, you cannot contain this guy, and you're going to have to foul him. You can't keep him out of the paint. This is not a comparison, right? I am not sitting here telling you that Adou Thiero will be this guy. But if there was a play style comparison of like what it would look like in the NBA if it really worked, like Jimmy Butler, the way he's able to just get to the rim and either get fouled or, you know, use his touch in the mid-range to score, I think he has similar shooting questions to a guy like Jimmy Butler. And then the defense is pretty crazy, man. Like, he jumps passing lanes and he turns them into highlight dunks very quickly. So, like, if you're just saying, you know what, next pitch, I'm winding up and I'm swinging as hard as I can, Adou Thiero, I think, is that kind of guy that, like, if he hits, he could really hit. And I still think the floor is like NBA player, you know, something like, I don't know, maybe what you see out of like Jonathan Kuminga or something like that. So, yeah, that's if I was advising them, he'd be very high on my list.
Man, I love that too, because the guy you just described, that's someone that I'm like, put that dude as the 9th or 10th guy where John Konchar should be, and let him grow and let him really, I mean, because even like a thrift store Jimmy Butler is still an automatic bucket, you know, like
right.
Like I would take that any day of the week. God, you got me excited. I think that's why I love today, man. I just get more excited. It's like I was excited when I woke up. I'm talking to you. I'm more excited now. Yeah, man. Yeah. I know. Go ahead,
Luke. I would say anybody who wants to just have fun before the draft, just go to YouTube, pop on Adou Thiero highlights, and you'll be like, "Oh my gosh, this is crazy!" Like, he's got stuff he needs to work on. The handle's not great. The jumper's not great. If all that stuff was there, we'd probably be talking about him as a second pick in the draft. But the reason he might be there at 16 is because he's got some stuff to work on. But man, the highs are really, really high with a guy like him.
Oh my God, I love it. I can't wait, man. Chip, thank you so much for hopping on today, brother. I know you got to go downtown, go see Jess. So as soon as you're done with this show, everybody, go watch Jess Benson. Chip's going to be there. Watch him. Thank you, brother.
Thanks, Luke.
No, I'm excited to see. Yeah, dude. We'll have you on more. I might have you on later if you're down to just talk about the fallout from the draft.
This is what anytime, man. I love this stuff. So literally anytime, you just let me know and I'm here.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much, brother. I'm going to take a quick break, y'all. When we get back, I'm going to come back, just talk Kristaps Porzingis really quick. We're going to get Chip out of here, and we're going to take a quick break right after this. Thank you, brother. You have a good day.
Take care, Luke.
Looking for an alternative to alcohol or conventional medicine? Check out Ounce of Hope, a Memphis-based dispensary with 2 local stores in the Sanderland Center and on South Cooper Street. You can get all the products you need in a location convenient to you. Each store offers an intentional shopping experience with dedicated bud tenders to answer all of your questions, from product selection and mushroom blends to our personal favorite, the Delta 9 seltzers. You gotta try the Peach Buzz. Try Ounce of Hope at either one of their 2 Memphis stores or at www.ounceofhope.com for convenient products shipped right to your door. Use the promo code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts. One use per customer. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day one. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
And we are back. Welcome back to the Daily Grind, y'all. As you can tell by that lovely commercial, Ounce of Hope. Check them out, y'all. One of the premier dispensaries in Memphis. www.ounceofhope.com. If you're out of town, promo code Bluff City. Get you a discount on some wonderful products and also Trilogy Tattoo. Tats are the best, guys. Look, tat. Kermit the Frog tat. Tat. We like tats here. There's more elsewhere. Kenny's got them. Rusty's got. We just love them around here. It's America. We love them. I don't know. Go get tatted up. Go support your local people. They're great. Great dudes. I don't know. I want a tattoo. They're addicting. I want more. I digress though. We got a little bit of news to talk about. Nothing crazy. There was a little bit of bookkeeping that I wanted to touch very briefly on. Not our bookkeeping, but Kristaps Porzingis got traded to the Atlanta Hawks yesterday. It was a 3-team deal. The complete details of the deal were the Hawks got Kristaps Porzingis in a second-round pick. The Nets, the Brooklyn Nets, who just keep hoarding assets. They're like, they see an asset, they get it. They got Terrence Mann and the 22nd overall pick in this draft. So I guess that was the big thing here. So the 2025 first-round pick, number 22 overall tonight. And the Celtics will get Georges Niang. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm trying my best. And a second-round pick. So the big highlights of this are clearly like Kristaps going to Atlanta and Boston getting off the salary. My biggest takeaway here is I just did not see, I truly did not see Boston fixing their situation this quickly. They got rid of Drew Holiday yesterday. We talked about that. Now Kristaps is out and they're not sitting pretty, but like their financial situation is just much different now. And Atlanta's making a move. I think that this new look Atlanta is going to be very interesting. You've got Trey, you've got Kristaps, you've got Jalen Johnson, you've got Dyson Daniels. I'm assuming that this is Clint Capella, I believe, was a free agent. I'm assuming he's out. I guess it was going. I don't know if people thought he was going to stay. I don't know why he would. They still got Okongwu. But Capella's out. I don't know. This Boston team is going to be interesting. In the East, who knows? I guess anything's possible, but they're probably not going to be good. I mean, they got that finals team for them, the team that won them a chip. They got 2 of those starters are gone. Drew and Kristaps are gone. Just interesting. The league can change really, really fast. The drafts tonight, I expect there to be more trades leading up to it. I don't know. It's like Chip said, it's the most wonderful time of the year. That's what I should have sang with this morning. It's great. Y'all tune in tonight to the NBA draft. I'm excited. Let's see what the Grizzlies do. We're going to be back tomorrow to fully break down the pick they make, the trade they make. Whatever happens tonight, we will be back tomorrow to break it down. Go check out Jess Benson's show. She's about to happen. Chip is going to be on there doing more of what he does, breaking down the draft. He's really good at it, y'all, in case you couldn't tell. We are also going to have the 2 Bucks Sports Show. That is today at 11. They are going to have the gentleman from Locked On Suns today to talk about what the Suns are doing, talk about the Dylan Brooks experience that they're about to go through. And then Anthony Sane will also be live today. So check it out. We got a lot going on today, y'all. It's got a lot of content leading up to the draft tonight. Be safe today. Enjoy yourself. Have fun. It's the draft day, not the movie actually today. Have fun, y'all. And if I could leave you with anything today, like I always do, remember this. Remember these 2 things. That's all I ask. Remember to be a little weird, just a little bit. And remember to smile. Smile. Bye, guys. See y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all.